SoundBytes from VetAdvantage.
This SoundByte is sponsored by Bimeda and focuses on Cysteine-3 sulfamethazine, antibacterial sulfamethazine sustained-release bolus. Please refer to Bimeda's SoundByte Tear-Out, published recently in VetAdvantage magazine. At the bottom of page 2, we help you start a dialogue with your customers. Consider asking, "Doctor, have you recently visited with a representative about Cysteine-3 from Bimeda?" If they say yes, then you can assume they have some understanding of the product. Be sure to review the key benefits. But if they say no, you become the primary person to discuss the product. Using a confident statement and an invitation to neutral to engage your customer will allow you to review the features and benefits of Cysteine-3. Present yourself as being confident about the solution you're about to share with something like, "Doctor, I'm excited to see many of my livestock accounts embracing Cysteine-3 as a first-line therapy in their receiving programs. I'm confident Cysteine-3 will assist your clients in reducing handling effects and time labor costs." Now invite your customer to align what you know about Cysteine-3 with what your customer knows. A neutral invitation sounds like, "Let's review the key benefits and features of this NADA proprietary product from Bimeda." At this point, it's time to become a decision getter. Seek the level of decision the customer is willing to make by saying something like, "Once we go over what makes Cysteine-3 so effective as a first-line therapy, you can decide if Cysteine-3 fits as part of your receiving and treatment recommendations for your client's animals." Then lead your customer to review the benefits and brand values represented on the SoundByte. This will reinforce customer knowledge of the brand and uncover any concerns. Start by discussing the features and their benefits. Focus your customer toward key decision elements and use the SoundByte as a sales aid to help guide the conversation. Starting with features, you might say something like, "Bimeda's Cysteine-3 enables broad-spectrum activity against a wide variety of cattle diseases with therapeutic levels of sulfamethazine in just 6 hours' time and 72-hour persistence of therapeutic effect. Boluses are scored for accurate dosing, and Cysteine-3 meets BQA oral standards." And then describe the benefits. These features mean effective broad-spectrum activity that reduces losses from handling stress and time labor expenses. Cysteine-3's fast-acting therapeutic effect is ideal for receiving programs. With a proprietary drug formulation, Cysteine-3 is a cost-effective first-line therapy. Use page 2 of the SoundByte to review residue warning and unit size for Cysteine-3 cattle bolus and Cysteine-3 calf bolus. As you can see, SoundBytes will help you have more meaningful conversations with your customers. Our Go Deeper section addresses the most prevalent customer responses. Stay with us as we model a more in-depth conversation. Or contact your Bimeda account manager for more information. Visit www.bimedaus.com, email sales@bimedaus.com, or call 888-524-6332. One of the 4 types of responses your customers may present when you go to close a sale is what we call a complaint response. It could sound like this: "I used to use sulfaboluses a lot more, but my producers just don't like having to catch the critters and then grab heads to administer the boluses down the throat." Here's a great way to handle that complaint. Handling is always a concern, and Cysteine-3 provides less handling because of its 72 hours of sustained broad-spectrum antibacterial activity. Another type of response is what we call avoid. It could sound like this: "Sulfonamides are such old pharmaceutical technologies. I just don't want to use old drugs for fear my clients will think I'm not progressive. What else do you have today?" Here's a great way to handle this response. Staying current is important. However, new doesn't always mean better. The broad spectrum of Cysteine-3 provides activity against a wide variety of common cattle diseases. Or your customers may present what we call a stop response by saying, "One of your competitors was in here earlier this week wanting to talk about Cysteine-3. The withhold times are just too long for the cattle producers I work with." Here's how to keep the conversation going. 12 days withhold time from the last dose may not be right for all your clients. However, I believe most cattle practices see that the benefits of Cysteine-3 outweigh the withhold time. Finally, your customers may respond with what we call a challenge. Something like, having Sustain 3 available again could benefit some producers. However, I'm not convinced the spectrum of activity is broad enough to warrant stepping down from some of the fluoroquinolones or Generation 3 anti-infective products. Is the 3-day therapeutic effect realistic? Here's a great way to handle this challenge. That is a reasonable question, and the answer is absolutely in all but the most severe cases. Those few may require a second dose. Let me show you the data sheet. As you can see, SoundBytes help you have more productive conversations with your customers. But don't take our word for it. Try it and find out for yourself. It works. Thank you for your time, and again, contact your Bimeda account manager for more information. Visit www.bimedaus.com, email sales@bimedaus.com, or call 888-524-6332.